Okay, sorry because this is new to me. I'm unable to understand the dynamics of this YouTube live. We are going to start today so that you will definitely we'll have a follow up of these sessions later on also. But this is just a trial session for all of you. It's nice to see you all over here and nice to hear you. And this is a small session on importance of stories. Next time we'll come with the proper classroom trip tips. So I think can you see this importance of stories today? That is our topic. And going further, let me see this. Great stories happen to those who can tell them. Okay, so this is a quotation by Ira Glass. Uh, we say that somebody is there, somebody is out there writing stories, somebody is there telling stories for us. We say all these kind of things, but actually, the stories are not made elsewhere. Like we have a coffee shop where the coffee is made, there is a tea shop where the tea is made, but stories are not made like that. So, stories they happen. When we have the habit of telling stories, the stories happen to us. So, even a small thing for us can be a source of a story. Let's see the next slide over here. So, why do we need to tell stories? I already said that stories happen to us, right? So, is there a need to tell stories? As teachers, we talk a lot, and we all know that we are the source and we are the guide and we are the facilitator for the children. So, for a teacher to be a good facilitator, storytelling is a must. It's one of the important skills a teacher must learn. It's not just learning, she must practice. He and she must practice it regularly so that they can become, we all can become adept at telling stories. So, why do we tell stories? Stories help us to share our experiences. Mostly we think that stories are something which we get from somewhere. Somebody will tell the story, somebody will write the stories, and we are going to tell the to others. No, it's not like that. Storytelling is not just listening to somebody else's stories and telling to others. It's also sharing our experiences with the children. Stories help us to make emotional connection with the listener. If a teacher is a good storyteller, the connection between the teacher and the student is so good that that emotional connection will help the child to learn something in the classroom. And stories pave way for better understanding. So here the understanding is not about the story or not about the concept. The understanding between the storyteller and the listener. So the student should be ready to listen to us. That means that understanding will be created by the stories. And we already know there is no child in the world who says no to stories unless you are telling some horror stories which terrifies the child. Nowadays we see that children like even horror stories. So there is no worry about telling any kind of stories. All the children, especially everyone, they are attracted to the stories, but we should understand what kind of stories do they like. Do all the children like the same kind of stories? That is a question to think upon. Let's ponder upon that question later on. Telling stories spreads happiness on both sides. Yes, that is true. The storyteller is keen to tell stories, share experiences, and the person who is listening, if he is connected with the story emotionally, definitely he also feels happy to listen to the stories. That's why when we go to a movie, we enjoy a lot. A movie is nothing but, cinema is nothing but it's also a kind of storytelling. And one more thing, stories provide meaningful interactions. Sometimes we talk gibberish. We don't know what we are talking. We don't seem to be making sense. But when you tell in the form of a story, anything, everything seems to be making sense, and that makes our teaching learning process very, very interesting in the classroom. And coming here, why is it important for a teacher to be a good storyteller? It's not only storytelling, you should be a good storyteller because stories help a teacher to bond with his or her students. Yes, that bondage, that emotional bonding between the storyteller and the listener. Here, the teacher and the student will help the teacher in the classroom process also. Stories help to sustain the interest of the students. Normally, we see that when we take up a lesson in the classroom, after 5 to 10 minutes the children loses interest, they lose interest totally, and they're not interested in the classroom proceedings. But if you keep telling stories, what happens, they will ask you, tell more story, tell one more, tell one more. So there is never a point where they will say stop the story, they won't say, unless you are saying something really very boring. Stories help the teacher to include variety. So, what is this variety? Variety means a story has the capacity to have everything inside it. Story has conversations, story has rhymes, story has songs, story has lectures, story has many things. All the discourses which we are mentioning in our textbooks, in our what do I say, learning outcomes, okay, learning objectives, etc. All then those can be part of the stories. And as we said earlier, for the teacher, stories help in giving meaningful interaction with the students. Stories help to introduce new vocabulary and expressions in meaningful context. So when you want to introduce a lot of new vocabulary, instead of telling this is the word and giving the meaning of the word, if you keep using that new vocabulary in the stories, children will be really interested to learn. They don't learn the vocabulary as if they are learning some new words. It comes like naturally to the child. They will learn these new vocabulary very naturally, and because this vocabulary comes in meaningful context. ఒక కాంటెక్స్ట్ ఉంటుంది, ఆ కాంటెక్స్ట్ చాలా అర్థవంతంగా ఉంటుంది. అర్థవంతమైన కాంటెక్స్ట్లో వాడిన పదం ఎక్కువ రోజులు గుర్తుంటుంది. వి ఆల్రెడీ నో దాట్. సో నౌ లెట్ మీ టెల్ దిస్ స్టోరీ. కట్టే కొట్టే తెచ్చే. యూ కెన్ టెల్ ద స్టోరీ ఇన్ దిస్ సింపుల్ వే. కట్టే, రాముడు వారధి కట్టే. కొట్టే, రాముడు రావణాసురుని కొట్టి, రాముడు సీతను తెచ్చి. Katti, Kotti, Techi. The entire Ramayana, okay, it can be told in these three words: Katti, Kotti, Techi. But as a teacher, we need to develop storytelling in a manner that we are not going to tell in Katti, Kotti, Techi. We are going to develop this proper process of storytelling where we are giving the vivid imagination to the child to what you are saying. So when you are saying something to your child, the child must be able to visualize those things. It's, you can't say simply katte kotte teche. That doesn't work in the classroom. I think once I told a story also that putukku jara jara dubukku ma. Even that was also putukku jara jara dubukku ma. That single sentence can be written in a big story, giving vivid descriptions, vivid ideas, and explaining things, narrating the events of the story in a very beautiful manner, so that the child can imagine. Child listens to lot of expressions, lot of vocabulary, and gets the language in a natural manner. Okay, so here, what kind of variety can stories hold? Just now I told you that stories can have songs, they can have dialogues, conversations, rhymes, soliloquies, poems, and other, even posters, even letters, and many things. All these kinds of discourses can be imbibed into a story, and you can present all these things in your classroom in the form of a story. Nowadays, we are listening that even math teachers, science teachers, social teachers, they are trying to tell their, that means they are trying to transact their classroom using the stories. At least for the motivational class, they are using stories. For example, I have a story which I got from my students about a science class. It's about the weight of an onion and a potato. So I told a story to the children before going to that aspect, how when you put onion in the water, it comes up and floats on the water. When the potato, when we drop in the water, it goes down, but it doesn't come up to the surface of the water. This same particular phenomena, scientific phenomena, was told in the form of a story to the children, like a potato and onion or friends. One day they went for walking, and they were in a park, and they saw children playing, jumping, smiling, and doing everything. And some of the children were in the pool. They were swimming. So the potato also wanted to swim, so it asked the help of the onion. So what did the onion say? Look at me and observe me carefully, and whatever I do, you do the same. So the onion jumps into the water, comes up and floats on the surface of the water. But the potato, so imitating the onion, the potato jumps into the water, but the potato doesn't come up. So here we have this principle of Archimedes principle where uh, ఎంత నీటిని ఓకే ఎంత నీటిని దాని వెయిట్ ఆ నీటిని తొలగించిన నీరు వెయిట్ అండ్ ఆ ఆనియన్ వెయిట్ సంబంధించిన ఒక ఫార్ములా ఉంది కదా ఆర్కిమిడిస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్. సో ఆ ఫార్ములా ప్రకారం ఈ స్టోరీ ఉంది. కానీ స్టోరీ ఈజ్ సో సింపుల్ దట్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఆర్కిమిడిస్ ప్రిన్సిపల్ మనం చెప్పామనుకో ద వెయిట్ ఆఫ్ ద వాటర్ డిస్ప్లేస్ షుడ్ నాట్ బి మోర్ దెన్ ద వెయిట్ ఆఫ్ ది ఆనియన్ అని ఏదో అంటాం చూడ, అది అంత పెద్దది చెప్పినప్పుడు చిల్డ్రన్ విల్ నాట్ అండర్స్టాండ్. బట్ ఇఫ్ యూ గో విత్ దిస్ స్టోరీ, దిస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ స్టోరీస్, I think definitely children will understand more. So storytelling is not an important part of only English, Telugu, no, not only the languages, even the other subjects also can use the help of the stories to create proper interest among the children, especially children. Okay, so if you want to be a good storyteller, మనం మంచి కథ చెప్పాలనుకుంటాం. అందరు కథలు చెప్తారా అంటే చెప్తారు, అందరం చెప్పొచ్చు. ఇక్కడ కొంతమంది అనుకుంటారు అందరికీ కథలు చెప్పడం రాదు అని అనుకుంటాం. బట్ వాట్ ఐ థింక్ ఈస్ దట్ ఎవ్రీబడి కెన్ బీ ఏ గుడ్ స్టోరీ టెల్లర్. సో ఎలా ఉండాలి మరి మీరు గుడ్ స్టోరీ టెల్లర్? ప్రతి ఒక్కరు అవ్వాలి అవ్వచ్చు అన్నప్పుడు అందరూ అవ్వడానికి ఛాన్స్ ఉంది. సో అందరూ అవ్వడానికి ఛాన్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు వాట్ షుడ్ వీ డూ అండ్ ఎలా ఉండాలి మన స్టోరీ టెల్లింగ్? ఎంగేజ్ అండ్ ఇంటరాక్ట్. సో అవర్ స్టోరీ టెల్లింగ్ షుడ్ బి ఎంగేజింగ్, అంటే వాళ్ళకి ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్గా ఉండాలి. ఎంగేజ్ చేయాలి అంటే మొత్తం ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అన్ హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ స్టోరీ, హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ కూర్చొని వినేటట్టు ఉండాలి. ఇట్ షుడ్ నాట్ బి బోరింగ్ అండ్ మధ్యలో కూడా ఇంటరాక్షన్కి ఛాన్స్ ఉండాలి. సో ఇఫ్ యూ గో ఆన్ కీప్ ఆన్ టెలింగ్ ద స్టోరీ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ సైడ్, ఇప్పుడు నేను చేస్తున్నాను కదా ఒక సైడ్ నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నా, ఐ డోంట్ నో వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఆన్ ద అదర్ సైడ్. మీకు ఇది అర్థమవుతుందా లేదా అనేది నాకు తెలియట్లేదు. ఓకే, బట్ స్టిల్ ఐఎమ్ టెలింగ్ ద స్టోరీ. కానీ చిల్డ్రన్ విషయంలో క్లాస్ రూమ్ ప్రాసెస్లో అట్లా కాదు కదా. డెఫినెట్లీ వీ నీడ్ టు ఇంటరాక్ట్ విత్ ద చైల్డ్ టు అండర్స్టాండ్ వెదర్ ద చైల్డ్ ఈస్ రియలీ గెటింగ్ the sense of what we are telling in the classroom and engaging గా ఉందా లేదా చూసుకోవాలి. అండ్ బ్రింగ్ క్యారెక్టర్స్ టు లైఫ్. డల్గా కట్టే కొట్టే తెచ్చేలాగా కాకుండా రాముడు ఆజానుబాహుడు, look at him 6 feet tall with big eyes and look at his dusky skin. అట్లా we should bring the character to life. ఎవరి బుర్రలో వాళ్ళకి ఆ క్యారెక్టర్ కనిపించాలి. we need not show pictures. మేక్ షూర్ దట్ ద స్టోరీ హ్యాస్ ఏ పాయింట్ టు టెల్. కథలు చెప్పడం అంటే ఏదో ఉపుసుకుపోక ఏం పని లేక కథలు చెప్పడం కాదు. దేర్ షుడ్ బి సమ్ మీనింగ్ టు ఇట్. సో ఏ మీనింగ్ లేని కథ చెప్పుకుంటూ పోయినామనుకో, ఏం లేదనుకో, నో బడీ విల్ బి ఇంట్రెస్టెడ్. ద చైల్డ్ విల్ లూజ్ ద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అండ్ ఈవెన్ ద స్టోరీ టెల్లర్ ఆల్సో విల్ నాట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ ఐడియా వేర్ ద స్టోరీ ఈస్ గోయింగ్. సో కథ చెప్తున్నామంటే ఆ కథ ద్వారా ఏదో ఒకటి మనం పిల్లలకి చెప్తున్నామని గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి. అండ్ చెప్పేది స్టూడెంట్స్కి కాబట్టి లెట్ ద స్టోరీ బీ పాజిటివ్. డోంట్ గో ఫర్ ద నెగిటివ్ ఎండింగ్స్ ఆర్ నెగిటివ్ స్టోరీస్. ట్రై టు గో ఫర్ పాజిటివ్ ఎండింగ్స్ ఆఫ్ ది స్టోరీ. అండ్ కథ చెప్పేటప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు నేను ఇట్లా కూర్చున్నట్టుగా కాకుండా క్లాస్ రూమ్లో కథ చెప్తాం కాబట్టి వెదర్ ఇట్ ఇస్ ఏ స్టేజ్ ఆర్ ఏ క్లాస్ రూమ్ ఆర్ ఏ ప్లాట్ఫామ్, ఎనీవేర్ వెన్ యూ ఆర్ టెలింగ్ ఏ స్టోరీ, ప్రాపర్ బాడీ లాంగ్వేజ్, జెస్చర్స్, మూమెంట్. ఒక దగ్గరే కూర్చొని కథ చెప్పకుండా అక్కడికి ఇక్కడికి తిరిగి చెప్పడం చాలా ముఖ్యం. సో ఈరోజు నుంచి మన కథలన్నీ కట్టే కొట్టే తెచ్చే కథలు కాకుండా లెట్స్ టెల్ స్టోరీస్ విచ్ ఎంగేజ్ చిల్డ్రన్ అండ్ విచ్ ఆల్సో హెల్ప్ దెమ్ టు హ్యావ్ దిస్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ అబౌట్ ద క్లాస్ రూమ్ ప్రాసెస్. సో ఐ డోంట్ నో హౌ ఫార్ యూ హ్యావ్ గాట్ దిస్. I think I'm done with this. Hope this is helpful. This is only a test session. So next time when I meet you, I'll be properly prepared because I will know what is going on here and I will understand uh, how it is happening over there and how far you are getting the sense of this. Okay, so I can say only good evenings and every way here, but I don't know whether you are able to get what I told here or not. Let me for today I'm going to end the stream. Next time we'll meet again with proper planning from my side. What do you think? Do any one of you have anything to tell? Please tell something. Please share your opinions in the chat box. Please write in the chat box so that I'll know what's happening over there. Did you? Somebody said Krishnamurti Sarraju. So she's saying it is not hat box, it is chat box because see on my keyboard is not working. That's the reason you are getting it like that. So what do you say? Hello? Is this a good experiment? Or do you think that this, I know this experiment is like, it's preliminary. I don't really doesn't know how it is going to work. I'm trying this. I'm just trying this Facebook live chat. So next time when next time I'll see that I'm coming with a clear one. Shall I say thank you then? Because Verma sir is already saying it's clear and thank you. Thanks a lot. I was in a confused state because I'm unable to see any one of you. Okay, thank you. I'm going to end the stream right now. Next time we'll come up with definitely I'll come up with something better and a very clear understanding of how to use this YouTube live stream. This is an experiment. Thank you, Pranay. I can see yes, this is a good experiment, and this is also a learning thing for me. Srivani telling is one of the interesting topic first. Yeah, Srivani, I agree with you. And Rajalakshmi is there. My dear darling is always there. She is the first one to log in also today. Also, I can see that. Yeah, so many chat. Oh, the chat box is full with responses. Okay, now I think this one is good. Okay, so this one is good, and we are going to come up with beautiful sessions, not this generic topics. Telling stories and all these are generic topics for you. But next time, I will see that I will come up with something very, very important and which you can take to the classroom directly. So, what do you say? Um, shall I close this session now? Because you can't answer. Thank you very much, Gopal. Thank you very much, Renuka, Krishna, also. G Mary, okay, Velangini Mary is there here. Yeah, thank you, and everyone. Thank you, thanks a lot. Next time we'll come up with something really very better than this. Now we have 20 minutes of this class today. When will you be ready? Please inform me so that I'll be prepared with nice presentation for you. K. Srinivas, thank you, thanks a lot. I should thank Verma sir because he is the person who pushed me into this. He said, "Madam, today you do it. I'll be there for you." Okay, so meet you next time. We'll have a session. Whenever you want a session, please. Okay, please inform me. I'll be ready with something really very interesting. I'm promising you next time it is going to be class 1 English. Something about because we are many times we are talking about higher classes, third class, fourth class, fifth class, but we are neglecting class 1. So this time when I give some session, it would be about class 1 and how we need to take the class 1 session. So will you all be ready for class 1 session next time? Okay, so thank you. Thanks a lot. Let me end the session for today. Next time, let's meet again. Bye, everyone.